do we have an original sound from Kenya that somebody can listen to this and say, this song from Kenya, this just sound in Kenya?
I believe so. We have to look at sound from two dimensions. Number one being the spiritual dimension, and the second thing being now the physical one. So Kenya, we do have a sound, because if you hear a Kenyan song, you will know it's a Kenyan song, because something in you tells you, I've heard this severally sung in the Kenyan context. All right, but also a Kenyan will sing a South African song with Kiswahili lyrics, and you will say it's South African. Why? Because of the testament of the sound. That means the rhythm, the chord progression, the certain elements that are easily found in South Africa than any other place. All right. So in Kenya, we do have it. There is a song that will be sung, and you'll be like, that's a Kenyan sound.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.
Karibu sana Njoki Munyi.
Asante sana. I'm really honored to be here.
It's a big name.
It's been long overdue, people.
Yeah, we've been waiting for you. It's been long. As traditional dancers.
Imagine, hata nikuwa nitapata Masai leso hapa, nitapata Masai. I mean, where are the traditional dancers?
Wamechoka wakaenda
wapi?
Walianza asubuhi. Nashikia Njoki Munyi anakuja.
Ni vizuri. But they should come back, definitely.
You come back. Welcome to our studio.
Asante, I'm really honored to be here.
Just introduce yourself fully so that we hear who you indeed are.
All right. So my name is Njoki Munyi Wandati. I'm married to one Richard Wandati. I am a recording performing artist. I am a songwriter, singer-songwriter. I'm a worship leader at Rock Assemblies. I am a lover of God. I also love to teach, to mentor others. I'm just a lover of God, people, good food.
Yeah.
Chai.
Open a chai.
Rashai. Please. If you're going to invite me anywhere, Pearl Radio, excuse me.
Tengeneza kashai hapo.
So yes. I'm many things.
Okay.
But in a nutshell, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Njoki Munyi.
Yes.
Well, when did you start your music?
So professionally, I began my music in 2014. But I've been singing since, let me say, birth. My sister and I, Jackie Gashiri, we usually like to say this story that we've been singing all our lives. I used to sing. My mother and my dad are both musicians.
Wow.
So we used to sing a lot growing up. While cooking, eating, like doing chores, whatever, we used to sing everywhere. At that time, we used to live in a plot somewhere in Kayole. And so we used to make a lot of noise in that plot. Tukipigia tu makelele za mziki. So we've been singing since then. But then becoming more aware of it, and sort of growing more professionally into it, maybe around 2014. Thereof, maybe 20 penye ilianza kushika vizuri, acha niseme ni like 2016 hapo. Like now we sort of started being a bit more visible.
Hapo ndio ilianza kudonjo. By kudonjo ndo namaanisha by kudonjo ni kumaanisha like being called a few places here and there. Doing groove tours, groove awards, singing for Pizza on Masimasika Evelyn Wanjiro. I know, so like I see. That was about 2015 2016 there. All right, now, why did you choose to sing gospel music and not secular?
Let me tell you, sisi ni watu wa kanisa. Mama yetu alitulea akatuambia niwapate mkienda disco. Niwapate mkienda dance. Na akasema lazima tuimbie Mungu. I think it's upbringing really. Because we've really never had a taste for any other life apart from what we are in right now. So atujai experiment tukasema imekata. That doesn't mean we are not aware of another world, but we were just sort of very, how do I say, tulizungukwa tu na hiyo life sana. And that's pretty much it. Na tukakuwa sisi tunaimba gospel, and we love God with all our with everything. Of course we've gotten to know God more as time has gone by. But tulizaliwa tu tukienda kanisa. Tulijipata tu kanisani. Wewe ulijipata aje kwa radio? Sorry, you're the one interviewing me. Ulijipata. I'm actually curious. Actually really needed to ask you that. How did you find yourself in radio?
I studied.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Where?
Kenya Institute of Mass
You
Communication.
did? I went to multimedia and I've never stepped a day in studio, like as in by studio I mean like what you do now.
Okay.
Which is so weird because I majored in broadcasting and I never slept a single day in.
That's where you started to interview me now.
I think I still have an nilianza kuimba.
I was actually coming there like did you study music or you studied something outside
I did mass communication, broadcasting to be specific. But then I think sort of I think it was a preparation for me being in radio and TV without necessarily being on that. They are being on this other side. So that's what I did. So for music, I sort of learned it through my, how do I say it? I'll call them my mentors or sort of people who brought me into this space, media space, my God, niko ingia media station siku moja sasa
nimekuwa media space.
Hii music space. Pastor Deb and Pastor Peter.
Okay.
They're the ones who taught us how to sing, taught us how to do it a bit maybe professionally. Taught us how to be on stage presence, performance and all that. So in tulisomea but kienyeji but tulisoma.
That is good. Nataka tujue kama muziki inalipa. Tujue kama muziki inalipa ama ni Mungu tu ndiye anaongoza kwa sababu takula nini? Does music pay?
What is payment?
Payment? Like literally paying money. Can you live solely on music?
The better question would be, is music rewarding? It is. Again, I know what you're asking.
Yes, rewarding is unasikia guy roho yangu imetosheka nimeimba.
Music, specifically gospel music, not just music generally, but gospel music is very rewarding. But for payment, I'll say we are getting there.
Okay.
I've come to realize in Kenya, especially because of the systems that are there put in place to sort of govern how our music is played and all that are not as effective. That's why you'll see a whole year you're being paid 2,500. Surely production album zima you are checking at 2M plus, and that's just a project. Unabado begwa to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please share my music. So music Kenya ni tough. I believe other countries, maybe let me say maybe South Africa or namna hizo countries zingine, I'll say maybe there are better systems, I wouldn't know. But in Kenya, systems are the problem.
Okay.
How I'm not guaranteed that if I take this thing up, which is now music, that itakuwa fruitful at the end of the day. By fruit, I mean payment. But for some reason, if you do it, because I've been doing it for some time, it's very rewarding.
It is rewarding.
And at some point, it stops being about the payment. I don't know how I can describe it. It stops being about the money. Inakuwa tu ni there's a form of fulfillment. And then because I think it's also because God knows our assistance na nini, he's the one who sustains us. And it's not that we don't beg anyone for bread, yes, but he sustains us.
Okay. God is the sustainer.
The answer is somewhere in that in those many words. Iko tu hapo mahali.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't be in the music ministry as a tent maker there.
Yeah. Rephrase your question.
You can't be in the music ministry as a tent maker. Like that is your bread and butter.
To some it can. Because again, there are different tiers in the gospel industry. Unfortunately, there are the people who are having the songs on rotation. You'll find that the skizzers will pay for them, will pay out. Then MCSKs and all that, they'll probably have more events in a week than probably someone who's starting out. And so by them going watatembea kwa hizi makaunti unapata anaingisha kakitu. So there are people who's like music inapay kabisa. But then for us who are trying to sort of come out, not as much, but yes, it is possible to live off music in Kenya, but you have to be of a certain tier or in a certain tier.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kiki.
Yes.
Kiki kwa gospel ministry.
Yes.
Unachapa unafanya tu kitu hivi so that your ngoma can trend.
Yeah.
Is it wrong?
It is wrong. Why are you doing it? You see,
it's for publicity, like you're attracting.
But you know what surprises me is that people are still doing that. You know, we're not saying it's wrong for you to advertise your music. I mean, promote it by all means. Because if you check and do research on all great artists, there's a form of promotion, or rather, the sense of distribution and promoting the song that, iko involved.
Yeah.
So it's only in Kenya where either we have a very distorted form of what promotion looks like, or Kenyans are just tough ground that we have to say tumebondwa na gari hapo nje ndio mwende kwa YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's either two ways. Either we have either the problem is us or the problem is the listener. Because promotion is part of the thing.
Yes.
So why is it that Kenya you have to work extremely hard for you to just get people to go to your YouTube channel and watch?
Okay.
Ndo nasema maybe shida iko hapo kwa information, knowledge na wisdom hapo katikati on maybe what distribution and promotion looks like.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's talk about this jam here, Huru. Tell us about it.
Huru was written in 2017. My mind. See, either 2017, yes.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's a cry for freedom. Wanting to be set free from sin. How is it that in this sort of perpetual cycle of sin and sin doesn't matter how much I confess Christ and say, Nick, I am free, I'm still in this. So it is a cry for freedom, a cry to be set free from certain things. And so that was my first production. Actually, that's the first song I sort of released, and it's people really like that song.
Okay.
Yeah. Wanaipenda sana. That's
right.
What I would say. Tuko huru.
Hey!
My voice is refusing.
Yo, that voice. Iko pale, iko bali yake. Iko bali yake.
Iko bali yake.
Iko bali yake.
Ndio hiyo tunataka sasa kabisa.
Shikilia bali bole.
Correct.
Na kabeleke njili ya Kristo mbele, si ndio?
Kabisa.
Ndio hivyo.
Yeah.
We want to slowly pull the curtains down on this interview today, but before that, there's a lot of live recordings that are happening lately.
Yes.
What is the inspiration behind that?
So the world is shifting. The industry is shifting. People are embracing more of live content than studio sort of productions, and there's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's just that people's ears are being attuned to a certain sound. But you see, it's not Kenya who started this thing. It started in Maju. We have South Africa, we have Nigeria really adapting to that, and Ghana and the likes. And so Kenya times tunachangwa nyuma kidogo. Tanzanians have really caught it and ran with it. And so it's just what the listener has been, or rather is listening to. It's better for you to give them what they're currently listening to. If kina Dunsin, kina Paul Clement, kina Ntokozo wanawabariki, ukienda kufanya studio ta struggle because their ears are tuned to live music. So at times there is a thing called psychology of music. It's good to know what to do, what at what point. Yes.
Okay. Have you done any live recording?
Yes, I have. I did one with my sister called Hebrews 12:22. That's where a song like It Is Finished came from. Kukutana Nawe by Jackie Gashiri na Nyakupinge came from. And then recently we did one with Our Worship. Our Worship is rock, the worship team by rock at Rock Ministries. We did one called War Festival. And so songs like Nizako, songs like Great One by PK, songs like King of Glory by Jackie came from. And we're also planning another one coming out. We are planning one we're going to record very soon as well. So yes, we have a lot going on, and we are hoping that tutakuwa able kufanya hivyo.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Now you as Njoki Munyi, as we wind up, unatupanga na kututengea na kutupromise nini in the near future?
Me, all I am promising is more. All right? Is that God will, as God continues to deposit, that will be diligent and responsible and good stewards to sort of release the content and the music has given us. But now also, because it can't just be one way, what I would also request is that people to play the music, to listen to the music, to share the music, because it's one thing to say Kenya is releasing a sound, and it's another thing for the sound to go out. I can only do so much, but these things si mtu moja, si yangu, ni ya sisi wote. So you also have a part to play, Daniel. I mean, you've been playing my music, which is a good thing, and the listeners who are listening. Our work is to share, because unaona mseki release song Nigeria, yimbo Dunsin is not the one who's atashinda ameambia to please share. People take it and run with it.
Yeah.
And that's how sounds move. It's communal. It's a community effort. You have to take the sound out.
Okay.
And so my request is that kindly, guys, share the music with your friends. I usually say, you don't have to know me personally, but if truly it is finished, Sounds of Victory blesses your heart, just take it up. Send to your 5 friends who will be blessed by that song, or who you think need that song. And by that, even you sound it a travel. But you cannot be gatekeepers to this thing. And we can't also be gatekeepers. We have to help each other.
Right.
Absolutely.
Does Kenya have a sound?
You see this,
because most people say we ape a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you see something happening in Tanzania,
yes, like, yeah,
tunakuja tunapeleka kwa ubongo.
Yes.
Yani if it's bongo, like, do we have an original sound from Kenya that somebody can listen to this and say, this song from Kenya, this just sound in Kenya? I
believe so. But we have to look at sound from 2 dimensions. Number one being the spiritual dimension, and the second thing being now the physical one, which is the genge, the what. So Kenya, we do have a sound, because if you hear a Kenyan song, you will know it's a Kenyan song, because something in you tells you, I've heard this severally sung in the Kenyan context. All right, but also a Kenyan will sing a South African song with Kiswahili lyrics, and you will say it's South African. Why? Because of the testament of the sound. That means the rhythm, the chord progression, the certain elements that are easily found in South Africa than any other place. All right? So in Kenya, we do have it. There is a song that will be sung and you'll be like, that's a Kenyan song. Because of the elements that come with it.
Okay.
All right? But when you now look at sound from a more spiritual perspective, the question should be, is there really a Kenyan sound or even a South African sound? But just a sound in general. A sound of the songs and the sounds that the spirit and the angels are singing over a particular season. All right?
Yeah.
So, for example, you will hear there is a lot of messianic sounds. Messianic is those, how do I say, like the minor chords, you'll hear it. You know, sounds like sounds in a sound Israeli. You know, sounds imetoka Israeli.
Yeshua.
Yes, correct. Because of a certain progression. But it is weird because it has been adopted around like the globe. You will hear it being it more than it being a physical sound in Israel, all right? So, could it be that at this particular sound, at this particular season, the Spirit of the Lord is singing this particular sound over the earth? So you have to know, so sound, sijotani explain aje, but I tell you there is something I'm trying to say, but I hope you may get.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, as we wind up once again, who inspires you, or which artist or gospel musician inspires you?
Kwa kweli, so what happens is, I don't have a musician. I have songs. I have different. I have seasons that I listen to a particular song.
Yeah.
So you'll find on my playlists, you'll find maybe there's Orenze, there's Dancing probably, there's Kavishe from Tanzania, John Kavishe, by the way, Paul Clement. You'll find there's Tasha Cobbs. So it's not a particular person, but a particular song or a particular sound.
Okay.
Yes. And they change sort of quite often.
Okay.
Yes.
And we want to wind up this conversation. What is your parting shot, and where can people find your music?
All right, you can find my music on all streaming platforms. Njoki Munyi and Njoki Munyi. On social media as well, I'm Njoki Munyi. Parting shot is be who God called you to be. Don't apologize for who God has called you to be. Don't apologize for the gifts. Don't apologize for the talents. Don't apologize, because in a few years you will look back and say, why did I miss that opportunity because of fear and all that? So don't apologize. Be your best self. Yeah.
All right. His latest jam, this is Nizako. Tell us a little bit about it.
Nizako is my latest release. It's just a praise song, worshiping God and praising God. It's from the War Festival live recording we had. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful praise song that should be adopted in each and every church in Kenya. Thank you so much.
All right, see you next time.
Asante.
Thank you for coming.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.